If you've enjoyed the content we've made so far in 2024, we're asking you to pick up a Kinda Funny membership on patreon.com/kindafunny or youtube.com/kindafunnygames to say thanks as part of August's Kinda Funny membership drive. That 10 spot would get you access to more than 130 exclusive episodes of content. And to give you a taste, we're posting one of the exclusive Gregways just like this each and every Saturday and Sunday in August. On top of that, make sure you join us for weekly public happy hours where we take Patreon member calls live for everyone as previews of what a Kinda Funny membership gets you each and every month.
Yo, what the heck is going on, everybody? Welcome to your Gregway for August 29th. That is correct. I am Nick. That is also correct. Greg is out of town. I believe he's going to PAX. So look on his socials and all that stuff to see all the cool stuff he is doing. But in the interim, I wanted to share some fun news with you guys. I don't know if anyone out there saw Waiting for the Punchline, but that was a documentary that I made. We made that a few years back now. I think it was maybe 6, 7 years ago. And it was about my first year in comedy and all the stuff that it took to sort of do open mics and get enough material and then go basically try to get up at the Punchline, which is a world famous club here in Northern California in San Francisco. And the process for that was, it's pretty straightforward, it's pretty laid out. We have a thing called the Sunday Showcase, which has been happening for a long time. And during that Sunday Showcase, every single comic that wants to be passed at the club, or wants to be a paid regular at the club, I should say, you go there on Sunday, you check in with the booker, and you hang out, and you meet people, and you basically get a chance to watch all the more established comics who are already either passed or on their way to being passed. You get to watch them perform, and then if you go for enough time, usually I think it was like 7 to 9 months, you got to go up and do your first set there, and you get about 5 minutes, I think, at the beginning. So I did Waiting for the Punchline my first year to sort of document that process and to show everyone how cool our scene was and to sort of introduce some of you all to some of my friends that I had made in comedy, like my buddy Janesh and a bunch of other people that you guys have probably seen. My buddy Austin, who I believe was featured a little bit in as well as my friend Alan. So that was a really cool process when I first started doing stand-up. But the goal was always to sort of highlight what it takes to become a professional stand-up comedian. And in doing that, we sort of, I think we showed you a little bit of the process of what it takes to actually get your audition eventually. And auditions basically is what the end-all goal is for someone who's just starting off in a scene. You want to get what's called passed at the clubs. And what that means is you pass your audition so you become a paid regular. So the term passed, that's where it comes from. It's like, hey, I passed, or you are passed. A person is passed. It means they have passed their audition. And the first audition you come to is what's called the host audition. That is your ability to basically, the club looks at you and says, you've got everything it takes to be a host for us, meaning you can start a show if there's a headliner coming into town or if it's a showcase style show. You have the ability basically to be the person that they go to book for that. So you book a whole weekend, basically. You do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, depending on what the headliner was doing. Or for a one-off show like at Cobb's or something cool like that, maybe they tap you to come host those showcase shows. We do something called the All-Star Show, which is basically like some of the best in San Francisco come, and it's, it's a showcase show. So to back that up even further, there are showcases, and then there's headliner shows. Those are the two main sort of comedy, like a style of shows for comedy. A showcase is basically everyone's doing 10 to 15 minutes. And then some people do maybe 20 to 25 minutes. And then a headliner show traditionally is 15-minute host, 20 to 25-minute feature. And then the headliner can do 45 minutes to an hour. And so you'll see, and maybe a couple guest sets mixed in there, depending on who anyone brought. So backing it up, when I started doing comedy, the goal was to, well, basically just go up for my first time at Punchline, which was a nerve-wracking experience all on its own. The experience of doing an open mic was nerve-wracking. And then to think past that and say, oh my gosh, I'm gonna walk into a real comedy club and try to actually be, a real comedian and do this at a place that people come to expecting comedy and expecting professionalism, that was, to me, a crazy ass goal. So I took it, I think the documentary was mostly focused on, it was mostly focused on just that first year leading up to just getting that very first set. And if you watch the documentary, well, no spoilers, but eventually I got my first set of Punchline. And it was fun, and it was nerve-wracking, and it was crazy. And it was, you know, shout out to everyone that runs Punchline and the management and the booker for, you know, putting up with me during that process, because I know that it was annoying, and it's outside, it's adding work to people's plates, and in an already sort of, you know, hectic environment. So shout out to everyone at Punchline that helped make that happen, and everyone in the scene that made that happen. But flashing forward now, so after that, and when I really started doubling down on taking my comedy career a little bit more seriously, which it's weird to say maybe wasn't at the beginning. I think at the beginning I was like, hey, I've dipped a toe into this, but I think, and a lot of my best friends in the scene sort of had to have a conversation with me, like, hey, you know, if you want to do this for real, you got to take it a little bit more seriously. You can't just do a few mics here and there and that at your shows and kind of be a hobbyist about it. If you really want to do this, you have to do it, or you have to get out of the way and clear the stage for other people who really want it, because this is a calling for people. And that was a gut check moment for me. I remember my friend Austin said that to me. He was like, I was like, I wonder why I'm not getting booked so much. And he was like, well, because people view you as a hobbyist. And I was like, I wonder why that is. And then I had to take a hard look at myself, and I was like, well, maybe I was the internet guy that had a following that came in and just thought, oh, I'll crush this and I'll bring my following, and it'll be easier for me because I already am established in another area of entertainment. And once I sort of realized that, I was like, oh no, just because we're great over here and doing all this amazing stuff with all of you guys does not necessarily translate to me being a good comic. And looking back on those earlier sets, it did not. I was not good. I was a hobbyist, and I think that I needed to sort of put a lot more time and a lot more effort, a lot more thought, and a lot more just earnest into my career in that area, while also still maintaining my career here. It's kind of funny. So once I started really going on that, then once I started actually committing to the process and really committing to this, like, hey, I'm in this system. I want to be a paid regular at Punchline. That then became the goal. And that became a goal that it's intimidating and wild, because it could take a long time. There's a lot of really great comics in the scene. There's a lot of comics that are, you know, have been doing it longer. A lot of comics that are just more unique, more funny. I mean, all sorts of things. And so to me, it just became a matter of like looking at it and saying, okay, I really want this thing. Am I willing to put the work in? Am I willing to, you know, prove to everyone around me that I'm worth having on a show? Am I worth, you know, am I funny enough to be, you know, a good asset to the club? Am I hardworking enough? Can I be a good host? And that became a very big priority for me. And I want, you know, that's still a priority for me to this day. I want to do it. But somewhere around about a few months ago, I started feeling like, you know, I started going up a little bit more often at Punchline and having pretty good sets. And then I was, you know, kind of working on my longer host set, with the idea in mind that hopefully in the next year or two, I could get the audition. And to put it in context, when you go up at Punchline on the Sunday showcase, you get about 6 to 7 minutes, unless you are closing it out or hosting, and then you get 10 minutes. But your host audition is 15 minutes. And so in the back of your brain, you have to be like, hey, I need enough material for this. I need to be doing this, you know, with that in mind of even though normal sets are 10 to 12 minutes, you need to be ready for this, because it, you know, it could come at any time. And 2 weeks ago, I got the email from the booker saying, hey, we'd like you to come audition for us. And so that's when I think that, well, a tremendous amount of anxiety set in, but the excitement set in for me. And so I basically was like, okay, who do I know in the scene that I could lean on, who could give me longer sets, so I can definitely make sure my 15 is as tight as I can get it. You know, I'm not saying I have the world's best 15 minutes of comedy, but I definitely wanted to go up there and make sure that the show was good, and that everyone had a good time, and that whoever was coming after me, whether it be the feature, a headliner, or a guest set those people up for success, right? And make sure that, you know, my number one priority was everyone in the audience knew the second the show started that we were going to have a good time. And so August 27th at 7:30 p.m. For the headliner show for Johnny Taylor, who was headlining, I got my opportunity to audition for Punchline. And it was a blast, and it was an honor, and it was awesome. And I have gone back and watched it, and, you know, it was just really cool to be able to do that. I've sent the tape away to the powers that be. I have not heard back from them yet, so I don't know necessarily if I have passed or not. But honestly, just being able to get to this point and do this is really, really cool. I want to just, it's cool for a lot of reasons. One, because you can look back and see progress. So I can go back and watch that first set that I did at Brainwash Cafe and go, okay, well, I'm at least better than that. And two, you know, when I reached out to everyone to say, hey, I'd like to prepare for this a little bit. Can you guys give me some time on your shows? Everyone said yes. And so it was just really nice to be validated and be like, I have a lot of friends in the scene who are willing to help me out. And obviously I want to pay that forward if I can for my friends as well. But that was a really good moment where everyone was super excited for me. And, you know, we all wish each other the best because we want to see each other and our scene thrive. So that was really, really cool. And the process was rad. You know, you go up, you do 15 minutes, you have a bunch of announcements that they want you to do. Obviously you can't mess up anyone's name. And so, you know, it's a nerve-wracking and really, really cool experience that even when I started doing comedy, I was like, I don't think I'll ever get to that point. And the fact that I have gotten there, and it's real and I did it. And, you know, again, knock on, I guess this is fake wood. Hopefully I did good enough, but if not, you know, I will hopefully get another shot at it, and prove to myself and to the club that I have what it takes to be a host, because that is a very big distinguished honor. It's a big milestone for a comic in their career to basically be passed at a club and to have a home club. Basically, that'll always be your home club. I mean, Punchline will always, and Cobb's will always be my home club, but you know, I want to be a part of it. You know, I want to be counted amongst the people who have gone through that system and who have been passed there as either hosts or features or headliners. And because it is a you know, deep lineup of very, very talented people, and I think it would be cool to be a part of that and be counted amongst those people. So I will keep everyone posted if I hear back from the people I've submitted the clip to. I will let you guys know whether or not I pass, and if I don't pass, for whatever reason, I will let you guys know when and if I get another audition. Thank you all for your support, and thank you obviously for being our patrons and having the YouTube memberships and you know, supporting this weird and wacky endeavor. I hope if you are trying to do something crazy and anxiety inducing, I hope you're hanging in there and getting good sleep, because man, it is a process, and about 2 weeks leading up to it, you start feeling the butterflies. Yeah, shout out to all of you. I hope you all have a great weekend. Yeah, be well.